As you can see from the weather, it's got a bit of a damp start, but the spirits are high and we're determined to make a difference.
What's your thoughts about the climate emergency?
I just hope we're in time to save the planet.
And do you feel like you're doing something by coming out today?
Yes, I am. If the whole world came out and did something, it would make a huge difference, innit? I'm doing this for the next generation. My time is nearly over. I'm in the 60s. I need to think about the young ones.
And are you going to be down for the rebellion? What would you say to people watching this and thinking about coming to the rebellion?
Please support the rebellion. Please try and make small changes in your everyday life to stop the climate from just dissolving into nothing.
Anything else you want to add? There's quite a lot of police around, aren't there, at the moment?
Well, I'm not bothered about the police. They're just doing the job. We've got to think about the animals as well. We need to sort stuff out for them. I mean, there's a whole raft of issues we've all got to get active on.
Any last message you'd like to say?
Come down and support us. More sunshine.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Are we heading to St Paul's? Because it's back that way.
Welcome everyone. It's the 22nd and it's Extinction Rebellion's opening ceremony. There's been a somber march and as you can see now the police have arrived. We have rebels who have been brave in addressing the climate crisis and they've ascended on a ladder and they're on top right now. And you can hear the crowd. We're up for this fight and this is the starting of it all. You can see that there's a good amount of people that have arrived today to open up for Extinction Rebellion. And I'm just going to try and talk to a few people just to see. Oh, you can hear some crowds here. Remember, the reason why Extinction Rebellion is out on the street is because the government is failing us. They've known about this crisis for a long time and they are doing absolutely nothing. The gestures that have been made are so inconsequential, and I'm sure I got that word wrong, that an increase in temperature is no doubt going to happen. Anywhere between 4 up to 4 degrees is what people are saying. And there we go. 3 really brave rebels. 3 really brave rebels. I'm just going to try and. Excuse me. Would you like to talk to some of the rebellion crew on Facebook Live?
Maybe a bit later.
No problem.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Good to see you here, though. And the message here, you can see on the banner now. We're just waiting for it to straighten up a little bit. I can see that the word co-liberation is there. Freedom together. This is how we deal with the climate crisis. Recognising every brother, sister in the world is our family, and that together we can deal with this climate crisis in a far better way than our governments are presently doing. So, no worries, mate, no worries. So I'm just going to, excuse me, I'm just wondering if I could interview you on Facebook Live. Would that be okay?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, well I'm just going to turn around. Hello, welcome. I'm just wondering why you're here. Why have you come out today?
This is a very important day. We are fighting for our lives and for the future of society because of the health of the planet. The planet is under threat and we need to change our lifestyles, our economy, and we need to look after each other to preserve the planet and to preserve its wildlife.
Thank you. I'm just going to turn around 1 second because there's more shouting and screaming in support of our rebels up there. If you were to say to anyone who was watching this live stream and isn't part of Extinction Rebellion, is there anything you would say to them?
Think about your future, think about future generations and the lives that they will have if we do nothing about climate change. It's the existential threat.
Oh, thank you ever so much and thank you for your time. As you can see, the police have now formed a line, but our rebels have already gone up there. You can see now three brave rebels. As far as I can see, I'm you know what, my eyesight is pretty bad and the rain's just starting to come down. Yes.
There's definitely 3.
Is it possible that I could interview you? I'm live on Facebook at the moment. No? No problem. No problem. No problem. As long as you're staying here for the 2 weeks. Hello? Hello?
How are you? Do you remember me?
Oh, hello. I'm on Facebook Live. Would you mind being interviewed? No. No problem. No problem. Thank you. The message is very clear. Extinction Rebellion is back on the streets, and you can see that co-liberation is freedom together.
Corrupting our democracy.
Sorry, bruv. I'm trying to get the thing up. Cheers, brother. I think one of our brave rebels is about to speak. I'm going to just try and move in a little bit.
Use the mic check. Channel 2. Well, no, if they couldn't get through the... So do you want to just stay there for a bit? I'm joking.
It's fine. As long as I'm live streaming, it's a bit difficult.
Welcome! Welcome to our Global Rebellion 2021! Beloved, thank you so much for being here. You are the change, we are the future.
Flynn's here, and he's up for saying.
Okay, we're going to drop down into our bodies, into our hearts. We're going to greet each other and welcome each other. Woo! Give someone a hand, a hug, a smile. Greetings and thanks. The police are moving forward!
I want to go that way. Sorry, I want to go that way. Sorry, I want to go that way. Excuse me, I want to go that way. Just want to go that way. I want to go out. Sorry, I want to go out. Sorry, excuse me, guys. I want to get out. Thank you. Okay.
You've just I'm just saying, guys, I know she's one day when thank you so much.
Okay, hi. Could you tell us where we are and what's going on here today?
We're at the Guildhall, I think, in the centre of the city, and we're here standing for our sisters of colour and standing for the children of all species, standing for a transformation of our systems
And we're here for all of us
to come together, to collaborate, to co-liberate. So they're all choices and all decisions that are made are for the equality and the wellness of all beings. Yeah, we've been on the journey of separation, and we all know it's time to change. These are the times to change. So this is what we're here for. It's like a ceremony. And my extraordinary sister, Skeena, who is one of the visionaries of XR, invited the men to join her here today. So that's why I'm here.
Anything else you want to add? Anything else you'd like to say?
No,
What about a message to people who are thinking of coming tomorrow?
well, I think you've just got to feel calm if you feel it in your heart. It's important to act on our hearts. So don't hesitate if you feel that pull in your heart.
Thank you so much. Thank you. There are people sitting down here. Lots of police lined up, and we have people skiing it up here. Hopefully you can hear her.
To give thanks and greetings. And as the Haudenosaunee people say, the Iroquois, the Confederacy. And now our minds are one.
Yeah, the speaker's just broken.
Can't hear you. Do a mic check.
Call and response.
First, we give thanks to our ancestors from all they have borne, all they have protected, life after life, death after death. It is a small thing to give thanks and greeting. And now our minds are one. Yes, I agree. Let's give thanks to the guardians of this land. They have protected. They have cared. And that is why we are here tonight. It is a small thing to give thanks and greeting. And now our minds are one.
Sorry, brother. Sorry, brother. Can I nip past you?
Yes, I agree. You are great. You feed us every day. It is a small thing to give thanks and greeting.
And now our minds are one.
Yes, I agree.
Next we give thanks to the
To all that feeds us and sustains us. And now our lives are one. Yes, I agree. Yes, I agree.
Next we give thanks
To the air and the clouds.
not to be.
They bring us our bread.
They bring us our bread.
And now our minds are one. Yes, I agree. Yes, I agree.
Next we give thanks
To the rain.
son.
Next, we give thanks to all the great nations. Next, we give thanks to all the teachers that have shown us their divine light, that have reminded us of how to live in love. It is no small thing to give thanks and greetings. And now our minds are one. Yes, I agree. And now we give thanks to the source energy. Divine love that exists in us all. That is the multiverse and the universe. That is all around us and connecting. It is no give thanks and greetings. And now our hearts are one. Yes. Extinction Rebellion! We're here because this is the heart of what is destroying us. This is where it began. 2,000 years ago. You are standing and sitting on the bones of slaves. This was an amphitheater of torture and death. And it still is. This is the place that enslaved us, this nation. And it is still enslaving us. We are here to say, from the love and the light in us that connects us to all creation, that this harm, this enslavement, this violence, this death is going to stop. We're going to stop the harm, we're going to heal the harm, and we're going to co-liberate. Extinction Rebellion, you've got so much to do these next days. And I want to ask you, I want to request, I want to invite you to go to your heart for that direction, for what is yours to do. Our hearts, your hearts, they are full of the divine light, the electricity that could light 60 bulbs. Fact. What you carry in your heart, that light, the veil of darkness, and end the ignorance, the ignoring, and the ignorance of old patterns, old thought patterns that we no longer need, exists in your heart. We want to end the scarcity, separation, the powerlessness. We're going to end it. Instead, we're going to step and walk towards together into abundance, into togetherness, and into power. together, we're going to do this. Shall we sing, Esther? Is Esther still there? My darling, will you lead us in? Sister Esther, and I'm handing over to her now. And she will say some words. A very special day. And she will lead us now. Thank you, Esther.
Okay, what do I make?
Family, members of the human family. Yay! Today is a very significant day, not just because this is the spiritual opening ceremony for Extinction Rebellion's impossible rebellion, but it was also very divine that those that thought about starting today, tomorrow, going in tomorrow, the 23rd, were divinely in tune with the spirit of those same people who rose up against their oppressors and liberated themselves. And I'm talking at this time about the Haitian Revolution. It's no accident that we are here today on the 230th anniversary of the Haitian Revolution. It began in 1791 on the eve of the 22nd of August and culminated in 1804 with the first republic declared by enslaved people, not just enslaved Africans, but all enslaved peoples, to establish their own nation. Their own nation that is called Haiti, named by the Taínos people, the indigenous peoples of that land. And so today we are in tune. We are here in the spirit of co-liberation, but recognizing the wrongs of the Maangamizi, which is a key Swahili word for the Holocaust and continuum of chattel, colonial, and neo-colonial forms of enslavement. And so Haiti is a symbol of that future that we need to co-liberate. I am Esther Santacose. I am a co-founder of Extinction Rebellion Internationalist Solidarity Network. Brother Kofi Cruz and many others, including Gail, Stu, Jamie Kelsey Fry, many others who co-founded Extinction Rebellion Internationalist Solidarity Network. And we co-founded this as an example of how Extinction Rebellion in the UK could merge rebellion with all of those in the global south who have been resisting the climate and ecological crisis for centuries. When we talk about colonization, we often just talk about what happened to people, but colonization was the beginning of this dirty system that we are here to expunge today. Our lands were colonized. Our lives were colonized. The lives of the non-human members of the earth were colonized too. And that was the beginnings of the genocide and the ecocide that we are standing against today. And this flag that I am wearing, and a version of it behind that's been amended, is the original flag of the Haitian Revolution. The original flag. And it was the flag of one of the liberators of Haiti who established the Constitution in 1805 that declared there would be no more slavery. And guess what? This liberation struggle that culminated in a revolution was waged not only by peoples of Africa, but everybody, including some white people, who fought in that revolution, was declared to be black in the Constitution of 1805, because Haiti was a symbol of the world that we are yet to build. The flag represents not only the black people who came from Africa, peoples from all over Africa who united across ethnicity and nationality to form one nation. That's what the black symbolizes in this flag. But it also symbolizes everyone who united under that banner of hope and freedom and justice and liberty for all.
Sorry, can we have police liaison in the back of the square, please? Police liaison to the back of the square, sorry.
So, the red, it used to be thought that the red represented the blood of those whose lives were taken in defense of their own humanity and our right to live in harmony with Mother Earth. But it was explained to me today by a Haitian scholar that the red represents the original so-called red people or indigenous people that founded that state. And the African people knew that the land was not theirs, but they had to have some kind of coexistence with the original inhabitants of that land, the Taínos people. And when Dessalines, who instituted the Constitution of 1805, he renamed the place, which was called Saint-Domingue, after France, as a colony. He renamed it by its indigenous name of Haiti. Haiti. With an A, not with a H. That's the anglicized spelling of it. So what this flag banner represents is that leadership of members of the human family who find a common cause together to face the most serious challenges of our time. And in order to not only stop that harm, but to be about that repair, known as reparatory justice or reparations, which is not about money, it's about repairing harm. And before you can repair harm, you have to stop the harm. You know, I stand here today as a descendant of those freedom fighters whose freedom was in our blood. just us, but affecting the very life support systems of our dear Mother Earth. So that's why we're here. And it's important that in Extinction Rebellion, you recognise that your only salvation is to respect the first peoples of this earth and get back with who you are destined to be, who you were born to be, all of you who are called into this sacred work and mission. So much is required of you to be the example that we need to end this system of death, this death style that now is impacting on all life on this planet. So those are the few words that I wanted to say. I'm supposed to read out in a little song. By the way, I'm not a singer, right? But it's a song that many of you will know, and I chose it because of what it meant historically. And it's a song that is based on what is called the Negro spiritual, which is African people, but that's how we were defined at that time. And the song is We Will Overcome. But the words are slightly different. So we've mixed it up a bit, we've modernized it a bit, and this is based on that Negro spiritual popularized by the African American Methodist minister Charles Albert Tinley. And this was written in 1904, but he really reflected those songs that he heard his parents who had been born on a plantation singing, and they themselves were repeating this song that they heard their foreparents singing from the time that Africans were first enslaved in North America, North Abya Yala, in the 1500s. So we will begin, and then you can follow me, all right? And then you'll catch it because the words are really, really simple to pick up, and it's very repetitive. So we begin. Do you know that melody? Okay. We will be the change. 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 We will be the change each day. We will be the change. 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 Got it? Okay. We will be the change. 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 We'll stand arm in arm. 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 We'll stand arm in arms. 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 We'll stand arm. We will overcome.
We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We will overcome. We will overcome. We will overcome. We will make them pay. We will make them change. We will make them change. We will make them change.
That you are creating, that we are creating here, is being felt worldwide. And those of us who originate from the global south, we are connected into our communities. And we are there to say that today we are joining Extinction Rebellion. I'm talking to my majority white brothers and sisters here. And siblings. Mustn't forget the siblings. Okay? It's really important that we find ways to amplify the voices of those on the front line. In resistance, who have been holding the fort for centuries. They even have connections into some of those families that were perpetrators. And it is part of your own healing to be part of this co-liberation. But what we cannot have is white people in England thinking that your mission is to save the world. That coloniality that's not only in you, it's in all of us who've been colonised. You've been colonised too. So our freedom struggles are connected. And we have to fight for a world where we can all live justly and we can live in harmony again. And as Africans, we have our own vision of what this world is. And we refer to it as Ubuntu Dunia. And that is basically a multipolar world based on pluriversality, where each people works together at building forms of communalism again. We need to build that back in Britain, in the British Isles, across Europe. Many of those women who were the visionaries missionaries and seers out of Europe who were burned as witches, so-called, for actually promoting the knowledges that is so commonplace today. We need to repair that harm too. And I want all of you to know, don't be afraid of this word reparation, because you need reparation too. This is not about one people's struggle against everyone else. This is about us all, as our sister Skeena has said, co-liberating together. And the world that many of us of African heritage, the continent that we hail from, that we refer to as Ma'at Ubuntu Man, that is an African, Pan-African union of communities, not based on this oppressive model of the Westphalian state that oppressed even the people in Europe. How could that be exported around the world and we in the global south follow these models of death? So you are the brave ones, because you have dared to go beyond the boundaries that are the boxes that other people have put us all in. I know that no nation which enslaves another can itself be truly free. So, my brothers and sisters and siblings, okay, I want to close with the words of James Baldwin that are really appropriate to this framing of the impossible rebellion. And here, this is from The Fire Next Time. And he said, I know that what I'm asking is impossible, but in our time, as in every time, the impossible is the least that we can demand. And one is, after all, emboldened by the spectacle of human history in general, and the African American, he said American Negro, but I'm going to make it more correct, the African American history in particular, for it testifies to nothing less than the perpetual achievement of the impossible. Stop the fossil fuels. It's not impossible to imagine a world beyond extractivism. It's not impossible. Yes, we can. And here I'm going to close. He says, everything now we must assume is in our hands. Yes! We have no right to assume otherwise. If we, and now I mean the relatively conscious whites and the relatively conscious blacks and everyone else who must, like lovers, insist on or create the consciousness of others, do not falter in our duty now. We may be able, handful that we are, to end the racial nightmare, the climate and ecological crisis, emergency nightmare, and achieve our country, and I'm ad-libbing here, our nation, and our world, and our pluriverse, and change the history to our story, a new story that we will write together. Yes. And then he used a biblical analogy, and he said, we do not now dare everything. The fulfillment of that prophecy, recreated from the Bible in song by an enslaved person, is upon us. God gave Noah the rainbow sign. He said, no more water, the fire next time. My brothers and sisters and siblings, please heed the call. The rest is up to us. Thank you.
This is a massive rebellion. It has to be. I'm sorry, I don't know why the dog is because people are not listening. People are not here. And the system that is stopping them from hearing, and that is driving destruction, the motor of that system is based here. The companies around here, in the banks around here. So we are hoping that the people of this country will see that there's a big change to confront the crises that now have overtaken us. That is why we have to be messy.
Animal Rebellion, are you here? Forest Rebellion? Can you pass the mic to our beloved Animal Rebellion and Forest Rebellion, please?
Marcus?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me there as well?
Yeah.
This is an impossible rebellion, and this is impossible only in the eye of the status quo and the system. Because the status quo said we should not be here together after a global pandemic that was caused by human activity. The status quo also said we should not be here today at the face of police repression. It also said we should not be here together after four rebellions and the fifth one on the streets of London to try to make a change. But despite all of it, we are here because we are not supporting the status quo. But our voices cannot be complete without elevating those in the global south already experiencing the worst of climate change, and those people in this country who are already experiencing the worst causes of this system that we are up against. But we are here, and we are going to show a way to make an order in this chaos. But this rebellion can also not be completed without elevating the voices of the animals and nature that surround us and keep us alive and show us beauty and show us truth. Because beyond our borders are imaginary flags and systems and nations and governments and groups and movements that are all human-made. There's a larger truth of real
rivers and forests and the animal kingdom and seasons and all that beauty that we can only begin to imagine. In this rebellion, we are going to actively talk about the largest system of all beings. Because, take this word, when we win, because we are going to win this rebellion, when we win, the biggest ever greenwashing campaign is going to start. The status quo is going to do everything possible to sell us sustainable solutions, to tell us that it's all doable and it's all right. But we know it's not until we make decisions around the children's fire, around the fire with all our sisters and brothers from the global south, and around the council of all beings and non-beings of this planet, including animals and non-living beings. This rebellion starts with this beautiful unity between people, and is going to end with a beautiful unity of nature at the Nature Mars. Yes! Let's do everything possible during this rebellion to actively model our love for nature. Because this rebellion is not only a rebellion for 2 weeks. In this rebellion, every single day, we are going to show how to live on less, but with more in our hearts. How to use less stuff, buy less, consume less, extract less, but have more love and passion that we have ever felt for each other and for nature ever before. I would like to pass this mic on to Niels from Forest Rebellion, please. Instead, Alex from Nature Rebellion.
I'm just one human out of 7 billion. I think it's on. It's not on. Hello? Yeah, that's on. Right. I'm just one human out of 7 billion. And humans are just one species out of 10 million multicellular species. What's wrong? Just shout. Okay, I'll just shout. That's easier. Shall I just shout? Yeah. Here's my natural voice. I'm one human out of 7 billion, and humans are one species out of 10 million multicellular species. There's maybe 1 trillion species if you include microbes. For each one of us, there's maybe 1 billion other animals on this planet, most of them rather small. Plants and fungi and microbes outnumber all of these by another million or billion again. I'm here today attempting to represent all those other beings. No pressure. I was a scientist, zoologist, taught to presume that animals had no inner worlds, were like robots. I've been pleased to see Western science travel a great distance in my lifetime, towards accepting that even insects have emotions and thoughts, maybe. Maybe even plants too, maybe fungi. Even protozoa show behavioural plasticity and learning. We are the universe experiencing itself, but so are chimpanzees, dolphins, fish, ants, plants and fungi. Unlike them, we've managed to develop technology. Microscopes, telescopes, computers, with which we can explore the universe, collate the vast amount of information and begin to understand it. So we are extremely special. Complex multicellular life is very likely very rare in the universe, but technological civilizations likely almost non-existent. Brief flashes in the dark. We are the universe beginning to explore and understand itself. But the technology that brings that understanding also brings doom. Technology evolves much faster than culture. It allows immense power before a species can evolve its culture to handle it wisely. Someone gave machine guns to the monkeys. Works. This is likely the great filter, the reason the universe is quiet. If we can get through this century, we might survive to explore the universe, to be the universe truly gaining self-awareness. But we may not. I've had the immense privilege to be able to explore some of the most biodiverse and pristine places on this jewel of a planet. Mapping rainforests, discovering new species, writing management plans for marine parks, snooping on the tiny creatures in tropical leaf litter as weird as you might expect to find on alien worlds. But I've witnessed 2/3 of all that I love destroyed in my lifetime. The number of wild beings more than halved. Rainforests, coral reefs, swamps and meadows raised and degraded. Even bacterial biodiversity has plummeted. To try to save this beauty, I left the tropics to come back to London to get arrested on the streets in the rain. It's not necessarily true that nature will survive. Just because this planet has survived 5 previous mass extinctions does not mean it will survive a 6th. Gaia is just a hypothesis. It is likely that life on this planet is lucky to have survived this long, and our belief otherwise stems from survivorship bias. In any case, life here has just 1 billion years left at best. But what we are doing to this planet is unprecedented in geological history. Change of types never seen before and 100 times faster. Plus positive feedbacks, which could mean we could push this planet into runaway heating, leaving it stuck as hot as Venus. We're at the absolute inner edge of the habitable zone around our sun, as it is, not in the middle. Extinction Rebellion's initial success, in my view, was in part due to it remaining vague about certain specifics, for the sake of movement building, because humans are so prone to dividing over what we disagree about rather than unifying around what we agree on. But now Exile had started telling the full story of the destruction of this planet, the injustices underlying the climate and ecological emergency, the causes rather than just the consequences. I think it's important that we don't forget the biggest part of this story, that of one culture's domination, not just of all other cultures, but of all other species on the planet, not just over other human cultures. Viewing non-humans as resources to be managed is not over morally outrageous. Animals are people too, they just have no voice and no vote. But it's also dangerous hubris. It's the ecology, stupid. The economy is a tiny subset of the ecology, and we can't even manage the economy well. As an ecologist, I can tell you that we have a primitive understanding of this planet's ecosystem, the biosphere. It's incomplete and inaccurate models, shockingly little data, and inadequate computing power to predict the system anyway. We need supercomputers to predict the weather 5 days in advance, but the biosphere is 1,000 times more complicated, and we need to manage it for generations to come. The only way to approach this is with humility, seeking to maximise co-thriving with other living things, to give up presumptions of land ownership, concepts such as growth and profit, to seek quality, not quantity. Symbiosis, not domination. To do this, we need to change our culture, overcome the suicidal speciesism that Western capitalism has wrought, to seek inspiration from pre-industrial cultures. We're at the most important time in this planet's history. This next 10 years will determine the rest. And London is the most important place, the origin of global capitalism, the brain of the beast. We've been taught that we're just consumers working for capitalists, watching X Factor and voting once every 4 years, leaving decisions up to others. This is a lie. Like it or not, at this time and this place, what you do matters, your behaviour influences others, your life is meaningful. There is a hypothesis about civilization's rises and falls that posits that most of our lives we would have been in a stable system resistant to change, but that we now may be in a release phase, a chaotic transition, determining what form this civilization will collapse into. In chaotic systems, small perturbations can have big, unpredictable results. This means that the little things each of us does may have big consequences, hopefully positive ones. We are the butterfly wings. Flap.
Where's Kasia? Where's Kasia? Where are you, John? Yes. Please prepare me. Yeah? Oh, wonderful.
141 receiving teacher. You better go in. Yeah, that's speaking teacher. Haitian teacher.
Liberation! Here we come! Yes.
Every single time I'm like, it's silent. Throw it away.
Hello everyone, can you hear me? I'll try to speak as loud as I can. I'm part of DIRECTO. I'm a retired nurse, and I'm very, very conscious of the fact that the cuts, austerity, the climate crisis, the environmental crisis, all of it hits disabled people and disabled children first and hardest. When the waters rise and the floods rise, people can escape. If you're disabled, you can't. If there's a fight for food, disabled people will be the last in the queue for that fight. So I'm very, very conscious, and I'm trying very hard to get everyone to understand that we would not have a climate crisis if we had equality in this world. It's the division and the inequality that is driving the human crisis as well as the climate crisis. If we had equality, we wouldn't have racism, we wouldn't have sexism, we wouldn't have disableism, we wouldn't have a system that puts human beings above all else. Our trees and our grasses are just as important. In fact, they are more important. If you cut off someone's hand, they still live. If you cut off their legs, they still live. If you cut off their hair, cut out their eyes, they still live. But we cut off nature, we cut off our grasses and our trees and our seas, and we die. When they die, we die. Did someone say you can't hear? Can you hear that better?
Are you talking the right side of the voice? You need to speak louder. No, good. It's the same thing.
So, what I'm here to say today is to focus on inequality, because if we just focus on the climate crisis, we are focusing on the symptom, not the cause. Inequality underpins every problem that we are witnessing today in this world. If we address that inequality, we address the climate crisis, and we can solve things together. Next Saturday, the global Earth Fast begins. I will be taking part in that. If you can look it up, it's earthfast.info. It's a global thing that's happening. Sweden started it on the 28th, the UK and India joined it. Please add your support in whatever way you can, either fasting for a few hours, a few days, as long as you feel like able, or just supporting those of us who are taking part in that. I'll be taking part in it for 7 weeks, each week adding another day of fasting, 24-hour period, until on the 7th week I'll be doing 7 days. Please add your support for everyone who's taking part in this. We're taking part in it to say that if there's no food, there is no future. The flooding, the droughts, the fires are affecting vast states of this world, and it will affect food production. It will cause climate crisis, escalation, and it will cause food insecurity. It will cause millions of people to be turned into climate refugees. This government currently bringing in the Borders Bill. Please stand up against that. Prevent this government from bringing in it should not become a criminal offence to save somebody from drowning, to help somebody to escape from the war-torn places that this government is responsible for. They are selling the arms to the world. The lucrative arms trade is destroying our planet. The lucrative fossil fuel trade is destroying our planet. The building trade, the road building trade, the air trade, all of these things are affecting our planet and destroying it. We've got to put people and lives before profit, before money. Money, they say, is the root of all evil. And I used to think that perhaps maybe it was the love of money. And I saw the rich get richer and destroy the planet. But no, it is money itself. The greed of that money has blinded them, has made them insane to the point where they want billions and billions stored in offshore accounts, which they will never use in 100,000 lifetimes. And yet here we are, with not even decades left. We have to stop the insanity around money that is destroying us and our planet. And using money, they created a system of divide and control, divide and enslave, divide and exploit. Well, it's our time to unify. They divide and we unite. It's only through our unity that we will solve this. Let's get the whole world joining this fight to save the whole world.
I want to say something to you now about mothers, because this is also the revolution of the mother. We have a mother wound. We've been separated from our mother.
All right.
Come on out.
A few weeks ago, went to Butterfield Festival and said why we need to be at this rebellion. I did a talk about years ago on Downing Street. Because I can hear them. I can hear the future. I can hear the next generations, and they say, have courage. They say, it's all right, Mama, it's okay. Don't be scared, this too will pass. It's temporary and it's hard, but you're the only one that can do it. This is our task. This is what we are called to do, and we all have to rise to that challenge because it's scary. There's no one else coming to save us. My daughter is now 11. She began school striking when she was 9 years old, and she said to me, Why are we still doing this, Mum? Why can't I just have a childhood? I don't want to know anymore. I don't want to know. It's too hard. And she cries in my lap and she screams with grief, and I can't do anything to help her. Because this moment is full of grief. And we have to feel it. You too, you've got to feel, because that's the only hope we have. We've all got to feel. This is an emotional revolution, and we've got to feel it. So, I rebel for my children, for the next 7 generations, and for all on this livable planet. Extinction! Extinction! Extinction!
Extinction Rebellion. You won't be able to see it. It's our guardian. I'm Miriam. I got three pictures. Come out.
This is the guardian angel! Miriam gave it to me! For all of us! She's gonna protect us! She's gonna protect you! As you rebel! I'm gonna get down on my knees!
I invite you to do the same.
I invite you to do the same!
For the children's fire!
For the children's fire!
For no harm from this day forth! Generations of children! Of all species! Thrive! That they may love! And that they may be free! Let it be so!
Some of you will know this song. Please prepare me. Sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. Okay? Are we ready?
Yeah. Step outside.
Please prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. For living and thanksgiving, a sanctuary for you. Please prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. Living and thanks to every oh you. And again, please.
you want to say anything to camera?
You don't like to try and people out. You've done it to me yesterday.
Okay, so yeah, tell us where you are, what's going on.
Oh, we are outside the Guildhall, which is right in the middle of the city of London. This is where, as we were told earlier, that there are major crimes with slavery, and this is where the money happens. This is where pretty much the most hideous place in London, in possibly England, maybe even the world, is in this square right now. All the things that have happened to do with corporations that have been allowed to happen with the money and the slavery and the building up of the corporations has pretty much happened here, and the blood is here. The blood is in these stones. The blood is on the hands of the people that built these buildings, that designed these buildings, that worked in these buildings. So to be here is incredibly, to have a ceremony here is quite an interesting ritual to be had, I think.
So this is the start of 2 weeks of action.
Yes.
What would you say to people who are thinking about coming down here?
It's going to be not wet, apparently. Yes, there's lots of things happening this time. I think, come light, come with love in your hearts, and come prepared to move like water.
And how's it gone today?
It's gone really well. It's gone really well. It's been, the police have kind of held off. The usual kind of health and safety stuff. We caught them unawares, which was nice. People have scaled the building. They have standing their ground, which is most important. And we've heard from some people that have First Nation people how this place has affected them. So it's gone really well today. Really excited.
Thank
Great
you very
atmosphere.
much. Thank you.
Bye.
I'm here today because the planet's on fire. It may not be directly around you, but if you step out of your bubble of privilege, you can see the suffering around us and the biodiversity loss that is critical to our survival. Humans are endangered as well as the animals, and if animals are going extinct, we should be scared because we can go extinct too.
And so where are you at the moment?
I'm in London. I'm at the Ocean and Animal Rebellion, standing up for the biodiversity that's being destroyed by a system that only focuses on private gain and not the well-being of people and the life around us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So good.
People are now laying flowers. Can I ask why you're laying flowers down here? No, I just wanted to ask why you're doing that. Obviously. So they're putting flowers out in the square, right in the centre of London. Do you want to tell me why you're putting flowers down here?
Sorry?
Could you tell me why you're putting flowers down?
Down is, I suppose it's a sign that we're all united here together for the planet and for things that live and grow, I would say.
Thank you. We've got people with the Co-Liberation Freedom Together sign still on the balcony. The ladder was taken away quite early on, so I'm not quite sure how they will come down. They may be up there for some time.
We are changed. We are the ones we are waiting for, and we are dawning. We are the rising sun. We are changed. We are the ones we are waiting for, and we are dawning. We are the rising sun. We are changed. change. We are the ones we are waiting for, and we are dawning rising stars. We are change. We are the ones we are waiting for, and we are dawning.
Up on the balcony, there's a line of police. I haven't seen any arrests today. Excuse me, how long are you staying here for? How long will you be staying here for? Oh,
It's as good as one.
101. The flowers are slowly going to make an XR shape in there. The XR symbol. So I can't hear if the audio is coming through.
All right, hello, Extinction Rebellion. We're going to talk to one of our disabled users, rebels. Could I just ask why you're here?
I'm here because I care about my planet, I care about life, I care about people, and I want to leave this world a better place, or at least as good a place as it was when I arrived. And already I can see so much destruction, and I want to try and do everything I can to prevent any further destruction and help save our planet for not just this generation, but for generations of life as yet unborn and may not get to be born if we don't do something now.
I'm going to ask a stupid question because I again, slap me if I get the wrong term, non-disabled person. What's the things that us lot need to realise when in conjunction with the disabled crew and the climate crisis? What do people not quite realise is the score?
What people don't realise is that whether there's austerity, whether there's cuts, whether there's a climate crisis, whether there's an environmental crisis, whether there's an ecological crisis, every single thing hits disabled people first and hardest when it comes to humanity. Obviously, it's hitting and first and hardest with the species that are going extinct, and we've got to do something about it. But it is the inequality that underpins everything that we're witnessing that's happening in this world at the moment. And it's inequality that is allowing the climate crisis to happen. If we deal with the inequality, we can help solve this issue. And if we don't, we're just dealing with the symptom. The inequality that underpins it starts with the most vulnerable. And it's always disabled people, disabled children who are at the brunt of that.
Look, blessings for the answer. Can I just ask who you represent? Let's give some lyrics to people. Who do you represent?
I'm part of DPAC, Disabled People Against the Cuts.
Okay.
I'm part of XR Disabled.
Brilliant.
Rebels, and I'm part of Extinction Rebellion Hounslow, Extinction Rebellion London, Extinction Rebellion in general. I support the Fridays for Future, the Youth Strike for Climate. I support
in there, girl, isn't you?
I support every single person fighting for social justice and climate justice.
Blessings.
We cannot have climate justice if we don't solve the issue and get social justice, not just for human beings, but for all of life on Earth.
Look, blessings for giving me the time of day, because you've got a pooch that I know you want to get back to. And can I just say, your hat is proper lush. Look at those feathers. You're looking all right there, lass. Have a blessed day. All right. Brother, is there any way I could interview you?
Right now, wait until tomorrow. Yeah. You're going down.
Are you coming down tomorrow?
Yeah, we'll come down there.
Great. Great. Do you have anything that you specifically want to get done at all over the next few days? Because I'm part of the XR team, so if you...
Hello, brother. I'm sorry to disturb while you're having a little munch, and it does look tasty. I'm just wondering why you're here, brother. Why are you here? Why are you here?
I actually stumbled on to this protest by accident. I'm cycling. I've been cycling to London from the Netherlands. My 24th day on the road now, and I thought that I might as well join them because they stand for changing the world for the good, and we need to change. Otherwise, it's just unsustainable how we treat our planet. And yeah, I like it here.
So you're not an Extinction Rebellion person. You've just honestly rocked up. You knew what we stood for.
Yeah, I've heard about you in the news a lot in Dutch media, but I didn't even know there was a protest here. I was just cycling around and stumbled upon the group, upon you guys.
Well, blessings for joining us today, and hopefully one day you'll join Extinction Rebellion. But if not, we are so grateful that you came out today and joined us, because this fight includes everyone.
Perhaps I will.
I'm really, really, really stoked that you just rocked up, saw what it was about, and you're here.
Yeah.
Stoked. I'm going to leave you to eat your food, bro.
Yeah, thanks.
It's real. I'm a bit gutted I can't have a munch myself. It looks proper lush.
Yeah.
Check it out.
It's really nice.
Blessings, brother. Take it easy.
Hungry.
Take it easy.
Take care.
You too. You too.
Hi, so can you tell us how it's gone today?
Well, it's gone that nature blessed us with its. I'm sorry, my brain's gone. I'm a bit tired. Sorry, my eyes are barely working. I haven't had much sleep. It's gone fine. We got rained on, but yeah, that's nature's fertile juices pounding down upon us. At least it didn't last as long as it did in October. So yeah, we've set the stage. This is an invitation for people to come and join us. It's somewhat disorganised because the police keep on arresting our stuff. So we're learning to be more flexible and just more creative. The signs are good. There's people coming out of the woodwork who've been hibernating for over a year. There's new people joining us, quite decent numbers. The crowdfunder has exceeded all expectations. So yes, I'm allowing myself to feel moderately hopeful, and it's the most ambitious duration rebellion ever. And we're going to try and make it build and build and build rather than fizzle out. So, yeah, we're tackling the most important subjects on the planet right now. We're doing it in a fun, creative way, for trying to help people envisage a better future. So it's all positive. So we're just inviting people just to come down, join us, join in. If they don't like what we're doing, they can do something better. They can show, they can come and do something different. Just come and learn, have fun, bring kids. There's safe-ish spaces. We're quite good at grading what we're doing to keep people safe, manage people's level of risk.
So we're in the run-up to COP26 that's going to take place in Glasgow. Do you feel the government is listening or acting as it should do?
If they did that, we wouldn't be in this mess. The government will do absolutely nothing unless we force it to. The government is getting away with as much as it thinks it can get away with. So they're not world leaders at all. They're charlatans and crooks. So we've just got to expose that. And the more people know, the more they think people know, the more they think the public know and care, the more they'll actually start doing what they should be doing rather than what they're actually doing, which is robbing us all, robbing our futures and profiting from destroying the planet. So COP26 will be a sham unless we force them to actually do the right thing. This government's going to be shamed by what other governments are doing, and they've got to be shamed by our population, pointing out their failures, total failure of moral leadership. They're negligent in their duties, and they're letting people die.
So Extinction Rebellion follows the rules of non-violent direct action. Could you explain that to me?
The point of it's active non-violence. It can be both Many of us are in it because it fits with us morally, but also it's just strategically useful. The state has got all the guns, it's got the laws on its side, it bends the law. If you use a little bit of violence, that gets used against you as an excuse by the state to come down hard on you. So the idea of active non-violence is to basically disarm the state. You take a few hits, but it means that you're more likely to win. It shows up the state's abuses easier. It means that if you do what you do achieve tends to be achieved better. It means the outcomes tend to be better. You've got a better chance of winning. So yeah, it's about maintaining moral high ground. It works morally and strategically. These better outcomes. Yeah, and we're not saying that that's the only way. We're not saying it's the best way. We're saying that it's our way. We expect to coexist in an ecology of movements. They don't have to agree with us. We're stronger with diversity. Some groups don't embrace active non-violence the way we do, but that strengthens our position. We're not saying they're wrong. We're saying what they can do, what they do, and that strengthens our position and makes our non-violence stronger. In the same way that Burning Pink, for instance, by being a bit more edgy than XR, makes us look more reasonable. But us being a bit more edgy than Greenpeace, we make Greenpeace look more reasonable. So it's these radical fronts strengthen what comes behind. So we're not condemning other groups' different principles, values, strategy. This is our thing. We've got to do what's different. If we were doing the same as other groups, we wouldn't need to exist.
Great, thank you very much. Anything else you'd like to add?
Come and join us, come and have fun, and help make a better world. You're not passive consumers of corporate crap. You're being told that you're powerless, and it's up to other people to make decisions, and that your job is to slave away in long, shitty jobs, working ridiculous hours to make profit for capitalists, watching X Factor and then voting once every 4 years. That's a lie. The future is in our hands. This time, this place, what we do really matters. Your life is meaningful. What you do affects the behaviour of others. You've got an opportunity to turn things around right here. And you've been conned into thinking that you don't have a say and that what you do doesn't matter. What you do does matter. More than anything else, you have a meaningful life and use it. Be more than just a consumer and an observer.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi, so tell me where you are and why you've come down today.
So I'm Esther Stanford-Kosei, co-founder of Extinction Rebellion Internationalist Solidarity Network, also the Coordinator General of the Stop the Manganese We Charge Genocide Ecocide campaign. I was actually part of this opening ceremony representing Extinction Rebellion Internationalist Solidarity Network here at the Guildhall. And today being the 22nd of what people would refer to as August is a very significant day because it is the beginning of the Haitian Revolution in 1791 that culminated in 1804 with the independent nation state of Haiti. And why are we commemorating Haiti today? This is also about Extinction Rebellion's opening of the fifth rebellion known as the International Rebellion. But the two are conjoined because the site that has been chosen for this opening ceremony was done in honour and recognition of that struggle of the people of Haiti to establish a free nation that was opposed to imperialism, opposed to enslavement, opposed to the dispossession of the first peoples, and showed a model for how we could live in a new world. That is the example of Haiti. And the Guildhall, where we've had some direct action today by XR rebels, was also appropriately chosen because this Guildhall is, if you like, the site, the centre of London, but in particular the British nation's involvement in the transatlantic traffic of enslaved Africans. In fact, in between 1660 and 1690, 15 Lord Mayors, 30, I think, aldermen were involved with the trafficking of African people. All shareholders in the Royal African Company met here at the Guildhall. So this is a very symbolic site, and actually it was chosen in recognition of what those of us who are trying to amplify the voices of those in resistance, communities of resistance in the global south, have been waging rebellion, anti-slavery rebellions that were also not only anti-colonial, but they were about trying to avert the climate and ecological crisis, the beginnings of the very problem that we have been gathered here today to try and stop. That problem of the climate and ecological crisis. So when we think about colonization, that's where it began, with the enslavement of peoples and the despoilation of the environment, the killing off of many of the indigenous people, the enslavement of African people, the colonization of other communities racialized as non-white in the global south. And it is a very historic moment that we can be here actually raising their voices so that those of you who are in rebellion in Britain know that this is a worldwide rebellion and that there must be a merging of rebellion if we are to have peace and be able to effect the kind of planet-wide repairs that we need to effect to be able to stop the harm so that we can rebuild. But we have to rebuild based on the sacred principles of this earth, recognition of our interconnection with the earth, which is what was denied us, which is what we were demonized for, those original first peoples of the earth. So that's why I'm here today.
This is an opening ceremony of the Extinction Rebellion and first day of many. What would you say to people watching this? This is the final word on a very long live stream. So
what I would say is please join this rebellion. Come out tomorrow, the 23rd, at 10 a.m. Trafalgar Square. There will be more. This is our code red. It's already been said. Code red for humanity. And now many of those in the global north are feeling what those in the global south have been experiencing for centuries. But we don't necessarily grieve. We are hopeful because our history, our story is really a testament to the constant achievement of what was supposedly meant to be impossible. And we are here today as a testimony to that. So be of good faith, be of courage, and let us join our forces together so that we can actually ensure that this planet can be for the benefit of all of us and not just a few who are intent on killing all life on this planet because they think they can go and do the same somewhere else in the solar system. We must not allow this to happen. We have to be protectors of the earth, not only protectors of our own community or our own group, our own nation, but we have to be protectors of our earth because it's our earth, our mother, that actually is crying out for us to be once again in harmony. So heed the call. Thank you.
We hold the following to be true. This is our darkest hour. Humanity finds itself embroiled in an event unprecedented in its history. One which, unless immediately addressed, will catapult us further into destruction of all we hold dear. This nation, its people, our ecosystems, and the future of generations to come.
The science is clear. We are in the 6th mass extinction event, and we will face catastrophe if we do not act swiftly and robustly. Biodiversity is being annihilated around the world. Our seas are poisoned, acidic and rising. Flooding and desertification will render vast tracts of land uninhabitable and lead to mass migration.
Our air is so toxic that the United Kingdom is breaking the law. It harms the unborn whilst causing tens of thousands to die. The breakdown of our climate has begun. There will be more wildfires, unpredictable superstorms, increasing famine and untold droughts as food supplies and fresh water disappear.
The ecological crises that are impacting upon this nation, and indeed this planet and its wildlife, can no longer be ignored, denied nor go unanswered by any beings of sound rational thought, ethical conscience, moral concern or spiritual belief. In accordance with these values, the virtues of truth and the weight of scientific evidence, we declare it is our duty to act on behalf of the security and well-being of our children, our communities, and the future of the planet itself.
We, in alignment with our consciences and our reasoning, declare ourselves in rebellion against our government and the corrupted, inept institutions that threaten our future. The willful complicity displayed by our government has shattered meaningful democracy and cast aside the common interest in favour of short-term gain and private profits.
When government and the law fail to provide any assurance of adequate protection, as well as security for its people's well-being and the nation's future, it becomes the right of its citizens to seek redress in order to restore dutiful democracy and to secure the solutions needed to avert catastrophe and protect the future. It becomes not only our right, it becomes our sacred duty to rebel.
We hereby declare the bonds of the social contract to be null and void, which the government has rendered invalid by its continuing failure to act appropriately. We call upon every principled and peaceful citizen to rise with us. We demand to be heard, to apply informed solutions to these ecological crises, and to create a national assembly by which to initiate those solutions needed to change our present cataclysmic course.
We refuse to bequeath a dying planet to future generations by failing to act now. We act in peace with ferocious love of these lands in our hearts. We act on behalf of life.